Welcome to the Dietitian Against Diets. This is Rashonda Thornton here to continue to create that conversation that we all should know when it comes to our health. As I am getting ready to introduce my next guest, her name is Kelly Kimberlin. She is a unique person. She's a life coach, but she's more than a life coach. So I can't wait for you guys to hear our conversation. Before we move forward, I want to recognize some of my partners that I have been partnering with since the podcast has begun. The first company, which most of this is brought to you by, is Midwest Dairy. One of their key terms is love what is real. So this means Midwest Dairy farmers, they want to connect to the community, connect to the consumers, and they want to show love through their food and the way that they care for their animals. Three different components: the environment, animals, and the consumer. They practice sustainable practices such as recycling their water. They make sure they feed cows local diets, and they make sure that they have continuum of innovations in their milking process. Learn more about Midwest Dairy and learn what undeniably dairy means. Go to their website at dairygood.org. Not only would you get great information, but you can get some good recipes on there as well. Or follow them on Midwest Dairy on Instagram, or go to their website, midwestdairy.com, and you'll get even more information about it on a larger scale. Another company that you may have heard about, if you have not, I am very grateful to talk about them. They're called Banner Road Baking Good. Banner Road Baking Company is a company here in St. Louis. They are essentially a granola company. And let me kind of clarify what I mean by their granola, because they have a very unique way in which they process their granola and the tastes that they infuse inside of it. Number one is that they're totally organic products. They give you more than just oats. They give you quinoa, they give you seeds, they give you buckwheat, they give you different types of grains in your granola and give you a variety of the unique flavors that they kind of clash together. Some of their unique products is called O-Snap. It's a combination of ginger and molasses. So you got a little bit of spice and sweetness. Another one is Kickstart for all those morning people that want to have some sort of caffeine in their foods and not worry about if it's unhealthy or not. It's their granola that's a combination of coffee and chocolate. So you cannot beat that. Great taste and also gives you energy. Go to their website at bannerroad.com and you can select any types of products that you want regarding their granola. And they also have gift basket sets as well. You can also find them on Instagram at Banner Road or find them on Facebook at Banner Road on Facebook. Learn more about Banner Road. Great company. Another company here in St. Louis is called Sarah Food. So Sarah Food, you just really don't know what that means just by the title, but let me simplify it for you. What they are is a go-to place for you to connect with your local chefs and what meals that you want specifically for you. So if you go to their website, you select what chef you would like to prepare your foods, and they're all St. Louis chefs, so it's right around the corner. You can also select the type of meal that you want. They can get specific as whether you need something that's diabetic friendly, something that's more subjected around low-fat diets, something that's, let's say, is more of a vegetarian diet. Whatever it is that you prefer, you can select the type of meal you want and the chef you would like to make it, and then just let them know when you would like it delivered to your home. So great price as far as affordability. You can take advantage of their discount. If you would like 20% off, you would type in LOV, and you get 20% off your order. So check them out, see if you like it, and if you do, add that to your repertoire of healthy foods. Go to their website at sarahfood.com or follow them also on Instagram at sarah_food. Welcome back to the Dietitian Against Diets. This is Rashonda Thornton. I am elated to present to you my guest today. Let me give you a little bit of information about her, then I'm going to let her take it from there. Her name is Kelly Kimberlin. She is she helps to connect you with your inner person, and she calls herself the badass what do you call it? Life coach.
Badass coach.
And the whole goal is to help people really reconnect and remind them of how to use their true selves and manifest what it is they want for their life and what they desire for their life. She's also the author of 2 books, and I'm actually wanting to talk a little bit about that because I'm not sure if they're very similar or they're 2 completely different things. And either way it goes, I know it's going to be some good information. The name of her 2 books is called Streetwise and Alley Raised. And the second one is called The Badass is Back. That's already intriguing just by that title. She's also, being a energy healer, she helps you to believe in yourself again. So, Kelly, Kimberlin, welcome today to the show. I'm very happy to have you here. Um, and, when I'm reading the word badass, people are like, oh my God,
Ooh, I'm a
she's
tough
cussing.
at, yeah.
What kind of woman is that? But that badass is actually an acronym.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you just take your time and speak upon that to help people understand what that means and why you developed that
Right.
word?
Right. So I developed it because when I came out as a life coach, I was a life mastery consultant and nobody heard me, nobody listened to me. And I eventually figured out I wasn't being authentic. And so I changed the name of my whole company because what I always said is I help people reconnect to their soul. And it didn't click with a lot of people. But as soon as I said, connect with your inner badass, everybody was like, bing.
Yeah.
It was a way to get people's attention
Okay.
and get them to understand. So then I came up with the acronym because it's not about being a hard ass and being tough all the time. It stands for being brave and doing it even when you're afraid, being authentic, because that's the key, being dynamic, being awakened, spiritual superstar.
Oh, can you say it one more time? I mean, that's just a great acronym, and every word is important.
Every word is very important. You got to be brave. You got to be authentic, dynamic, because we all are dynamic. Awakened, being aware of who you are and what this is all about, and being connected to your spiritual self. So you become a superstar when all that comes together. That's what
Yeah.
I believe.
And that's where it comes to helping people to find their inner selves.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are carrying this this T-shirt that says "badass,"
Yeah.
but they don't
Yeah.
recognize it.
They don't recognize it.
And one thing that you and I were talking about when we had our breakfast lunch, kind of put it all together. You were talking about how people they can live they can live years until they recognize this, and so just understand that you can be uncovered at any state of your life, and I think that's really important.
Correct.
Yeah. And it's not just and sometimes it can be life change that has happened, but you're actually I say your role is to work with the person and helping them to figure it out.
Right.
So now coming from your education, I say education because we all get a form of education, then we use that and create our own baby out of it.
Right.
I think
Exactly.
That's what you did. Yep. Utilizing your education and your life experience and just who you are, like what is your process of helping a person walk through that? Because most people are like how the heck are you going to help me do that?
Right.
I think that's important.
Right. Well, I do 3 key things with my clients. First of all, I recognize and help them with emotional trauma that they've been carrying around their entire freaking life. And it stops them from really creating a life that they love. So we work on that. We talk about that. I also do this emotion code that I can actually detect what emotion it is and when you received it, and I can delete it out of your body. Second thing I do for my clients is help them repattern these old conditioned thoughts and negative energy to be able to really reconnect with who you are. Because we are actually living by other people's beliefs and conditions, and you don't even know who you are because you've been taught this is what you should do, this is what you have to do. And so I allow that person to actually unfold and find out who they really are, what their truth is, because there's nothing wrong with your truth. It's yours, and you can live by it. And then the third thing I do is I remind them that we're all energetic beings, and we're all vibrating at a certain frequency. And you can feel everybody's energy. If you pay attention, you walk into a room, you feel that tension, you feel like something just happened, because you're picking up on their energy. So what I do is I remind them that when they keep their energy high at a good frequency, they can manifest whatever they desire in their life. You can notice people that are vibrating at a low energy and chaos is showing up left and right because they're not keeping their energy flowing and clear, and that really makes a difference. So those are the 3 basic things I help with my clients, and I just remind them who they are. They really know who they are. They got that little inner child in them that's screaming, remember me, remember me. And here I am talking with my hands again. Sorry.
Hey, it's
Trying
natural.
to
Yes.
stay focused. And all I do is remind them of that little inner child that knows who they are, that knows what their passion is, knows what their purpose is. And then they're, it's like the flashlights go off and they're like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. This is
Yeah.
what I want to create. This
Yeah.
is who I want to be with. This is who I want to love. This is the body I want to have.
And in order to do that, it takes that unfolding component.
Yes.
And that's the scary part. One of the topics that we're going to talk about, because
That's why
it comes
we're
into
yeah,
play, is
mhm.
when we're scared, what do? We
Distract.
evade and we
Mhm.
distract.
Mhm.
So one of the things I've learned also in my practice is that we find multiple ways to keep us from focusing on what is that we truly want to do. Whether we're scared we can't or we cannot do it, or we just don't feel like we deserve it.
Mm.
You know, so
Ding,
what do?
ding, ding, ding,
We
ding.
distract. We distract. That way, if we just keep kicking the can down there, but the whole time we're not ever seeing our potential. You know. So tell me, like, what do you consider distraction when it comes to your clients, internally and externally?
Well, we got the typical distractions. Everybody knows what those are. The overeating, the over drinking, the damn Netflix for the entire freaking day, the social media you get on, the excess shopping or the excess
It's
drugs.
so accessible now.
It's just all of it. All of it. Anything you find yourself doing too much of is a distraction. And so when you become aware of that is when you can change it. Because I don't think there's anything wrong with those things I noted. But when in excess, it becomes an addiction, an obsession. And you really, what's happening is you're avoiding the emotions you're feeling. Because that little child's saying, hey, I'm in here, and you're just stuffing it down. You're stuffing down those emotions. So when I see people distracting themselves, I ask them to sit with them, and what's this all about? What are you distracting yourself from? And it's usually something you don't want to deal with, right? And sometimes it's even like you don't even want to know how amazing you can be because you're so comfortable being in this comfort zone of who everybody told you you should be. The biggest distractions that you can do is lifelong distraction, is what I freaking did for 48 years. I distracted myself from my soul. I knew I wanted to help people, but I was so busy being a people pleaser because that's what I was told as a child. You're just a girl. You're going to be taking care of your husband and your kids. And I freaking did it because I was conditioned to do
From
it.
that age, and you were told for someone that you trusted, that you loved, and you took every word.
I did. Seriously thought that's what I was supposed to do. So I distracted myself from myself. And I made sure my husband's dreams came true. Like I ran businesses for him. We flipped houses. Whatever he wanted to do, I was like, okay, baby.
And
I mean, I
didn't
didn't
think
even
anything of it.
no, I didn't think. Do I want to do that? Does that light me up? Is that what I came here to do? I never even thought about it. It was a simple yes,
Wow.
yes, yes, yes. And same thing with kids. Then I had kids. I was like, well, now I got to be this super mom. Now I got to do this so I can,
Because that's the expectation.
48 years. And I almost ended my life over it because my soul wasn't lit up. So that's why I do what I do, because I know I'm not the only one doing it. I wasn't the only one drinking excessively, in a state of depression that I never want anybody ever to feel. And so that's why I want people to really understand how important it is when people say, you got to be authentic, you got to be your true self. And I was like, what the hell? She's so woohoo. And what is she talking about? But it's a true thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have a soul. You are your soul. You're not your body. You're a soul first. And you come into this physical world to express your gifts. Even if they're small gifts, I don't care how little or big your gifts are, when you're using them, your life is amazing. When you're not using them, the chaos shows up, the stress, the distractions, the overeating, the overdrinking, the shopping, the debt. People like the chaos
Yes.
because it feels comfortable to them.
It feels normal because that's what you're surrounded by.
Mm-hmm.
You think about just the idea, this is just a very surface concept, but think about reality TV.
Oh,
It's meant to be chaotic, so it
yes.
keeps your
Or it
attention.
doesn't sell.
You know,
Hmm.
or like you say, if everything's accessible by the touch of your fingers, I mean, you can. If you have 10 seconds, guess what you're going to do? Instead of taking that, let's say 10 minutes. Instead of taking that moment to meditate, to pray, to think about self, to write, to
Hmm.
journal, what are you
Hmm.
going to do? I'm going to scroll real quick because it's
Hmm.
easy. It takes
Real
me work.
quick.
It makes me comfortable, but it's adding on to the stress and detaching you from your ability to see who you are.
Right. That's right.
You know?
Right. And I believe I've come to find out that the chaos is the best distraction for people. Well, I can't do that because I got this going on. I can't follow my soul's purpose. I can't start a business. I got all this chaos showing up. And then we keep piling on the chaos. I was the queen of chaos. I could pile on so much chaos in my life and make things miserable, but because it kept me from this.
So do you still look at, because things still doesn't change as far as life. It's
Right. Oh
still
gosh,
going
you
to be
always have challenges.
chaos, but
Yes.
it's all about how you manage
And
it, how you look at it, and
hmm.
what you decide to do with it. So
Right.
even though that may not have changed as much as you, how have you viewed it now to where you're still keeping that separation, and now it's not holding you back anymore?
Right. Well, it's perspective. And instead of drinking my way through it, I breathe my way through it, to be honest with you. I can look at something, and because I know how it all works, that, oh, what's the lesson here? What can I learn from this? This is temporary. I can do this. So it's the way you talk to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Before it was, now look what you've done. You can't take care of this. Look what you created. You're just a dumbass.
That negative self-talk.
Oh my God, it almost tears me up. The way I talk to myself. Not anymore. That little girl can't handle it anymore. That's how she was talked to her whole life. And I refuse to talk to her like that anymore.
Yeah.
I get to decide. I get to decide. So decisions are very important in your life. You get to decide. You get to decide if you want to change things. And
Yeah,
then it's
choice.
perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Look around. Go up. Go over the situation. Let's look at it from here. You know, and that just changes the way you handle anything. I tend to laugh at a lot of stuff now. Laughter shifts you. I mean, I can laugh at myself. I mean, when I see myself getting distracted, like instead of mad at myself, I used to get mad at myself when I'd find myself distracting.
Uh-huh.
I'd be like, oh, here you are again, Cal. Now look at you. Turn the TV off, okay?
Yeah.
I know it's Saturday, but you can't watch Netflix all day. You know what I mean? So if you learn how to laugh at yourself, talk to yourself, perspective, you know, deciding to get your ass off the couch, you can make changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're not connected here, and this soul is connected to a higher source, and I don't care what you want to call it, but you are connected to it, and you got to tap into it. You got to ask the questions. You got to listen for your answers. You got to have that quiet time. Nothing will change unless you put the darn phone down and start having quiet time. I don't care if you're not good at meditating. Close your eyes for 10 minutes anyway.
Be in the moment. You know, at some way, shape, or form, be in a moment. And just like meditation or any practice or anything new that separates you from that separates you from the easy button is going to take time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when you're working with a client and you're meeting him or her for the first time, and you're kind of already picking up on the subtleties, or you have the intuition, you know, what are your I guess your coaching techniques to kind of help people to just break it apart and go at their own pace that's still progressive, that's not overwhelming, especially if they already are predisposed to anxiety or going through something at that moment?
There's all kinds of tools, and everybody's different. That's why all those programs I was trained in are all very good, but everybody's an individual. So it's more of an organic process. The basis to most of my clients' issues is self-love. I mean, hello, people.
Yeah.
I mean, when I tell them to go look in a mirror and tell them that I love you to yourself, most of them won't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, just look at it real quick and be funny about it, like, I love you. You know, start out easy. So that's the basis of that, is getting them to love themselves. We dig deep with the emotional trauma, when I
Mm-hmm.
do the emotion code on them and can detect, I always start out that with my clients, detect emotions that are blocking them. I had a gal last night called me and I did some emotion code on her. She's like, my blurry eyes are getting better. I mean, it's just funny how the emotions can block your energy.
So
It
what's
changes
emotion
you.
code? Kind of
Okay.
tell me what that is.
Okay, emotion code is it's muscle testing, so I can muscle test, which is asking the body a yes and no question, and then I have a list of emotions that I choose from, column A, column B,
Kind of like
even,
an assessment.
yes.
Okay.
And then I can actually pick out the emotion that is blocking my client. I kind of get into their energy
Mm-hmm.
and ask what it is. And then when I tell them and I send them a list of their emotions that are blocking them, then we start talking. And then they're like, oh my God, how'd you know that? And this happened then, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just peeling away all the stuff, right? So that's the first process we do.
Okay.
And then that really helps them talk and unfold. And then we work on the self love. Because you can get a vision down. Most people can, even if they make it up, I want a vision. What do you want your life to look like? So we do the energetic blueprint. They got to have something in their mind that they want to create. What is it? So how are we going to get there? So we start with that. So how I help people navigate to where they're at, to where they want to be. And so there's all kinds of stuff in there, right?
Yes, in between.
There's a lot of stuff. It's not a 1 or 2 appointment thing, so.
Yeah, it takes time.
Oh my
It takes time to grow,
So worth it.
to learn about yourself, to make mistakes, to learn from it, to grow, to learn about yourself, to make. I mean, it's just it takes time, but over that time, you're getting stronger, you're getting more resilient, you're being okay with loving yourself, and then your actions start to reflect that.
Ding,
And a
ding,
lot of times
ding.
I feel, and you may agree with me on this, when you're told to do something, your movement is just based off actions. There's nothing behind it, but
Right.
it was an instruction. Or
Right.
I can say, do you know how many times people have said, just tell me what to eat? And I'm like, even I can, but I would never tell you what to eat because I have to help to empower you to choose this because you want to choose this,
Right.
not because Rashonda said. So helping people to
Decision.
not just follow some
Protocol.
We're used to checklists and protocol because then that defines if we're perfect, if we're good,
Oh.
if we're bad. It puts these different it compartmentalizes how we see
It
ourselves.
labels you. I don't do any labels.
And we don't need to live off labels, but if we're going to make any pursuits in our life, we need to understand what we're doing and why.
Right.
And that foundation, that path, it's going to take time to figure that part out. But in the process of it, when you come on the other end, that's the beauty of it.
Beauty. I love it. And for them, isn't it the beauty when you see your clients light up and make their own decisions and then they see the lesson that they just learned or they're saying things that you said to them and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a beauty because
Yeah.
it's like they get it now.
And they decided to get it.
Yep.
We just didn't put the words in their mouth. We unfold it and then they decide they're awakened now. Awareness is key to everything. Awareness is key to everything. That need to be repeated. When you are aware of patterns, when you're aware of conditioned thoughts and beliefs that don't belong to you, and you're aware of distractions
That don't belong to you.
that don't belong to you, then you can change them.
True.
But until then,
And you don't have to. You won't define yourself. You create your own definition of who you are, and helping people to get to that stage. That's again, it's one of those moments of like, and this is what I'm on. This is what I'm on this earth for. That moment right there. And I think again, it's going against the grain of like
Yes.
what we're taught to teach. And you're using your life experiences, your skill, the gift that God has given you, and finding a way to help people see and get to that point to where you're at now. And I think, such as yourself and myself, we just have different vehicles. Like I told you, like
right.
we both have the same. Like when you said self-care and self-love,
Right.
that's like the premise of everything that I do, helping you to do this out of self-care and self-love. And your premise is helping people to get there to where that's They do everything in the name of love,
I know.
self-love, self-care.
It will
And that's
change everything.
huge.
It's huge. And then they laugh at it. And you're like, you'll see.
Oh, they laugh at it in
Oh,
the
yeah.
beginning?
They're like, that's it? Is that all you're giving me today? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Until you
you
get
wish
it.
you could record that part what
Uh-huh.
they said and fast forward
Oh,
it
yeah.
and
So
be
like
like,
the 12
remember when
weeks
you said
later.
this?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, I remind them.
yeah. Do you find that clients, um, do you find that clients, I'm sure you've seen the ups and downs working with people because that's, I mean, we're human,
Yeah.
but do you find that clients, um, they pay it forward in a
Oh,
way of their energy?
oh, oh, yes. Energy first, because we're energy first, which is your soul. Um, People pick up on that they changed.
But sometimes they don't know exactly
Yeah,
what
they
it.
don't get. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't know. They're like something's different about you, and so they pick up on that. And then I also love when my clients are um, paying it forward with what they've learned, and they're teaching their kids or
Mhm.
their friend. My friend went through this, and I told her what you told me, and you're just like, oh, that's what we're here for. We're here to be the example of the change, right? You've heard it before, be the change you want to see in the world, right? And if we all just do a little bit, it changes. It's like the snowball. It's a little snowball,
Mhm.
but it feels so good just to affect our own community right now. And then it'll grow and then grow. We don't even know how many people we've affected, really.
True.
And so that's the excitement of it all, the love of our work. That's why we do it.
Now, with what you're doing, you do it on an individual level.
Hmm.
Do you do it on a larger level, like small groups, or even getting out there speaking? Because, I mean, I would hope that you would say yes, because what you're doing, I mean, you're transforming lives.
Yeah, yeah. I usually do just one-on-one. I do some speaking. I really want to do more speaking because that's when I find myself getting lit up. I get lit up when I'm coaching, and I do want to do like groups of 10. So I'm working on that. That's the 2020 vision
Okay.
because I've worked with individual this whole time. But I know I want to help more people, and the speaking lights me up. So when I'm on a stage and I can see people, the aha moments, and they're smiling or they're rolling their eyeballs. I want it all.
All the
I
different
want it
emotions.
all. I'll take all your energy, and I think I feed off their energy, and that's why I like the speaking instead of just the webinars and stuff because I can't.
You can't.
I want to feel it. I want to be in it. That's how
Mhm.
I am.
Yeah.
So
Be in the moment.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So your two books. So tell me which one
Mm-hmm.
came first, and give me kind of a
Yeah.
synopsis of
Yeah.
each one.
Easy. The first one. I went to be a psychiatrist when I was young. Sociology and psychology lit me up, and I knew I was here to help people. And my dad was insistent on getting straight A's. I had two older brothers in college. I was ready to go to college. I just assumed I was going.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Dad, I want to be a psychologist or something in that field. And, we got to start looking at college. And he just simply took his cigarette out of his mouth, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm not wasting money on a girl. You can go to the community college, find something there. You're going to get married, take care of your husband and kids. I ain't
And you were
wasting
like,
money on you.
all right.
Condition, condition, and condition. And gotta love him. I'm not blaming. I'm done with the blame. I blamed for years, and it
Mhm.
only hurt my health. So that's all he knew. That's all he knew. And he was a good dad. So anyway, he told me, you're not as smart as your brothers anyway, but you're streetwise and alley raised.
That's. Is he still here today?
No,
Okay.
he died about 25 years ago. Nope. He,
Ways and alley wise.
because I am wise. I'm not book smart. I don't care to be book smart. I learned from life. I learned from listening to people. We have this inner wisdom that we come in with, and I let it live, like I let it come out. So I do know a lot of things
Mhm.
because I'm not blocking that. And he saw that, but he didn't know what I could do with it, right? So anyway, became a dental hygienist because my brother was a dentist. He told me to be a hygienist. I didn't know what one was. I went to Forest Park. I became a hygienist. Did that for years. Had some kids. Helped my husband grow a construction business, garage door business. Flipped 10, 12 houses. And 48 years later, I crashed and almost killed myself. So that first book is all about that.
Okay.
It's about the not just one decision making you go down that rabbit hole. It's years of denying myself, denying that little kid in me that wanted to live on purpose, who had a reason to come here. She had some stuff to do, and I was neglecting her. If you think about it like that, that'll change how you treat yourself. Second book, The Badass is Back, is how I got out of that rabbit hole.
Love the title.
Yeah. And you'll love the third title, but so I got out of that rabbit hole, and the tools that I learned and what I implemented in my life to be able to follow my soul's purpose, right? It's not just like flip of a switch. It's years of deprogramming. It's years of self-love. And it's years of different perspective and better decisions. Like, I had to decide. Gary didn't make me do any of that, my husband. I just kept saying yes. So I had to decide, no more. I don't want to see another house. I don't want to clean somebody else's toilet. I don't want to buy any more businesses. I need to do what I want to do. So that one tells you about that. And then the third one is going to be called The Unfolding of the Badass Soul. Because it ain't over yet.
It's not over.
There's all kinds of things I've learned.
And I think, with all respects to your age, and you're letting people know and just putting it out there. I did this for 48 years.
48 years.
Because so many people feel like, there's nothing, I don't have enough time. There's nothing I can bring of value. I should know myself by now after these many years. And like, they have no clue.
I know.
That sometimes it takes 48 years to go through this process to come out and see who you really are.
Right. And you keep unfolding. That's the excitement about
it's
my
a,
life
it's
now.
Not a stop. It's
No,
a
it's not
continuum.
stopping. It's like, oh my gosh, now I know about this, and now I can do this, and now I get to do this, and I'm creating what I want. So it'll never stop. And that's why I wrote the books, for validation, for being vulnerable, to say, I know how you feel. I've been there. It's not too late. Because look at all the powerful, especially women, love the men too, but especially women, we're powerful. We can do 16 things at one time if we want to. It's not good to do that.
I know.
It's not good, people,
It's
one
not
thing at a
good.
time. But we can in a storm. We're the calm ones. We're the ones that get it done. We're the ones that can love you through anything. But we're badasses too. You know what I mean? So I want the women that are ready to change things, change themselves, change the world, to learn from me. I expose a lot of stuff in those books. Nothing I'm proud of, nothing,
But it's real.
It's the
life.
real
It's
stuff.
you.
I
And
don't
so
live
many
in the
people need to
fantasy
hear that.
land.
People need to hear that.
Well, I have a pretty nice life, and I just wanted people not to feel bad about their life because my life looks so good. Let me tell you what's really going on.
Yeah.
The picture isn't this perfect. And on a small level, I would. Like, if you knew me, I'd be like, oh, my God, you don't know what's going on now. Wait till you hear this story, and look at what I did, and blah, blah, blah. But on the bigger scale, to write the book about it, it's going to reach more people. Because the picture's not perfect. There's a shit show going on in the Kimberlin house at all times. So I can help you navigate through that. Because there's challenges all the time. And you can make it through all of them.
One thing I am learning, and just from your conversation, is that your work that you're doing, it has nothing to do with you. And I think a lot of times when it comes to just, I'm not saying you were the sacrifice, but whatever you glean from that life experience, you're taking it to help the next person. So being able to tell your story, that shows that it's not about you. It's about how are you going to be able to help the next person. So when you're doing your talks and when you're develop your groups and whatever it is that you do, whatever your platform is, keeping the focus of has nothing to do with you. How can you be of service to help me? But you have been through it and you know exactly how it feels to be on that other side, and you only want that for others.
Right.
And that's, to me, that's key for anyone that has a calling, has a gift, and they want to find a way to give it to the masses, we invest in books.
Right.
We invest
Yep.
in building these speaking engagements. We invest in these relationships because we want to find a way to help people. So many
Yeah.
people I just wish you would.
I
Just
know.
wish.
I know, don't you?
Like, and it's, but you can't. So everyone knows I can't walk up to you and say, hey, I'm a dietitian. I can help you change your body. I can
Right.
help you change your life.
Right.
I can't.
You got to come to me.
People have to be ready.
Right.
So what I have to do and what I choose to do is I influence. I influence by my actions, how I treat people, the language, the way that I talk to people, to help them to see, like, you may not know what all it took to be healthy, but this is what comes out of it, which is different from what you were taught.
Yeah.
And by that, people come when they are ready, you know? So I hope and I look forward to being a part of your tribe as you're continuing to make these changes. And for those who are listening, you don't see this lady, I didn't meet her intentionally. I was going to meet her friend. We have a mutual friend.
Yes.
And she was like, oh, you have to meet Kelly. I was like,
you have to meet with Shonda.
Let's meet Kelly. And then
I love the way it
immediately
works.
we just jumped into a conversation. And I was like, I like this lady. And then we just set up a coffee like 2 weeks later. And I mean, here you go.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot
That's
of
the way it
times
works.
you build friendships over time, but sometimes you just never
Instant.
know.
Yeah, because we're tribe.
Yep.
We're part of each other's
Yep.
tribe now. Sorry.
So I know.
You got me whether you want me or not.
Dang it. No, I embrace it.
Me
I
too.
really do.
That's the joy of life.
Yes, it is. Meeting more people that see with the same lenses as you see
Yes.
and wants to help the world be better.
Yeah.
And that's the point of this podcast,
Yeah.
is to give people a place to go and help them to change their perspective.
Yes.
Figure out what works for them with the ultimate goal of helping them to be happy.
Yep.
Yep. So as you're continuing to move forward in your career, in your messaging, in your influence, let us know what ways that we can reach you, where you have any upcoming events, or you have any things that you know that are in the making. I know that your third book is coming out,
Right.
so kind of give people some other ways that they can find you rather than just on the podcast.
Right. No, so I'm at kellykimberlin.com or connect with yourinnerbadass.com. So all my speaking engagements are on there. I am going to set up a workshop every month because I need to get myself back out there. You get kind of comfortable just working with your clients, but then you need to reach the masses. So those will be on the website also. There are also videos on there for purchase.
Okay.
There's 2 sets of 3. I mean, they're for 3 videos just to kind of get people to understand how I coach and what I'm all about.
Okay.
$17 and $37 all day long, people. It kind of gives you the basis. And then you can say, do I want to work with this gal? Is she for me? Do we mesh? You know, because I want to work with people that are ready. So that's very important to me because I don't want to drag them through the process because they're not going to do it.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
don't
going to
want
work.
to drag. You're going to hold their hands and walk with them.
Right. And then you can get the books on Amazon.com. Once again, they're Streetwise and Alley Raised and The Badass is Back. And then look for the 3rd unfolding of The Badass. So
Coming soon.
coming soon.
And you're on Instagram, I'm assuming.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Instagram, sorry. Badass Within, because you are all badass within. And then Facebook, connect with your inner badass. Those are my two things that I work with.
Multiple places, multiple resources. Guys, go to her website, and if you like this conversation, it's worth listening to more insight on why she do what she does, and see if it works for you. I would say, Kelly, these are her premises that I have gleaned from this show, is that she thrives on helping you to believe in yourself, start living life on purpose, and create a life that you absolutely love. As you're on this earth, how can you use your first breath and your last breath to exalt life and be happy? You only get one chance. You don't get a do-over.
I know.
So I'm sure you can say it in multiple ways in which people, when they really start getting it, like, how can you take this time on your earth and just be as happy as you can? It takes unfolding. It takes unpeeling.
does.
If that's what it takes, then maybe it's worth it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
It's
so,
worth it.
Kelly, again, thank you for coming on to the show. I knew when I first met you, I was like, should I say it? Is it too soon? I said, no,
Is it too
I'm
soon?
going to say it because I
You
want
gave it
you on
10
here.
minutes.
I did. But if you guys
Thank
hear,
you so much.
yes, you're so welcome. And if you guys are hearing and seeing this lady's legit. She has a story to tell. Get her books, follow her, get her energy, and let her energy and your energy come together, because I guarantee you it will bring something positive to your life. Rashonda Thornton, Dietitian Against Diets, changing the diet mentality, helping you to make choices from your foods that reflect self-care and self-love. So until next time, guys, enjoy your week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Wow, if you guys heard that conversation, Kelly, she just blew my mind in her approach to how she interacts with people and work with them to help them to figure out where they're at and help them to get to be a better person of who they really want to be. So thank you, Kelly, for being on the show. As we're wrapping up, I want to give some acknowledgments to some of my St. Louis companies that are around here that has done a lot of great things for the community. One in Pacific is Custom Foodscaping. So what is Custom Foodscaping? Their logo and their mantra is have your landscape and eat it too. So what does that mean? They essentially transform ordinary spaces into beautiful and fruit producing landscaping. If you're not sure what that looks like, they have services they provide from consulting, help you to create your design, and help with the installation. So any way they can help you to create an edible garden that helps you connect with your food, they're there to help. They work with residential areas, they work with restaurants, they work with universities. So they're really trying to grab the gamut of helping individuals all the way to businesses provide beautiful and edible ways to bring to full circle their garden and their foods. So go to customfoodscaping.com to see some of their projects that they have done over the last couple of years, and they have some upcoming workshops that you may want to jump in on and learn some things on your own. You can also find them on Instagram as well at Custom Foodscaping. Another company that I have linked arms with here in the area is Green Bean Delivery. I will call it your grocery store in your back pocket because what they are is an online grocery store where you can select your foods anywhere from local to some of the more respected healthy companies that has a high reputation. They give you a variety of different types of foods. So when you go online, you can select what category you want, then just pick your foods. Put it in your cart. Within 3 days, you will have these nice green bins delivered to your door. And they have everything in there that you selected. So you don't have to go outside of your home to get some of the foods. And you also create more time for yourself, for your family, because you're just ordering from home. So you don't have to take that route and the extra time to go out. Follow them on their Instagram account at Green Bean Delivery. Last but not least, don't forget, if you do decide to grab some of their products, take advantage of their 20% discount. If you type in Better Vessel, BetterVessel, you get 20% off the orders, no subscriptions, no hidden costs. They are straightforward in their services. Also go to the website and select it at greenbeandelivery.com. Another, not company, but I would say business out in the Illinois, St. Louis area is called Janie's Mill. So Janie's Mill is a mill farm out in Illinois, but they provide a lot of their products here in the St. Louis area. The uniqueness about Janie's Mill, and I've literally talked to the farmer myself, he is a great guy. He's all about using organic seeds and organic processes first. They're really big about their sustainability and their practices. So they bring in innovation along with making sure that they are also keeping the nutrients and the flavors in their meals. They go through a process called stone milling, which is slow grinding process at low temperature, which keeps the kernels and all the ingredients within that kernel together and intact. So when you're making your baked goods, whether it's flour, you need cornmeal, you need some sort of other rice grain or any type of grain you need to produce your baked goods, you can depend on Janie's Mill for providing a healthy, nutritious product for you. Go to their website and see some of the products that I am talking about and listen to the story. Learn why it's called Janie's Mill. Great story behind it. Go to janiesmill.com. You can also follow them on Instagram at Janie's Mill. Thank you guys, and I hope to provide more conversations for you guys moving forward. Rashonda Thornton here, the Dietitian Against Diets.